Hello, and welcome to another 3D Friday, part 3. Isn't that amazing? Number 3. We've made it successfully to 3 parts. Is this going to be a continual series? It's looking like that's the case, and that's exciting. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're still not doing the full-on review of the Creality CR20 Pro 3D printer, which you can see here, which is actually printing something else I've designed at the moment. I'll show you what it is as a little kind of sneak peek, and you may enjoy that. There we go. Look at that. This is what we're... Oh, no. There we go. So this is what it's printing at the minute. It's a holder for something that's called primers. It's like an airsoft part. And I designed this today, and yeah, it looks quite cool. Essentially, essentially, where we go, there we go. So there's a little spinny thing in here, and you put your primers in each of these gaps, and then it dispenses them one at a time. And there's like gaps at the side here which allow you to spin it. So I think it looks, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully it prints okay. But that is for another day on 3D Friday. Today we're talking about test printing. Essentially what that is doing a test print to see how well your machine performs so you can optimize it, because so much of 3D printing comes down to optimizing your printer, learning what works well for you, and then using those settings when you're printing different types of things. And a really good way for you to work out how good your printer is to test print bits like this here. So as you can see, it's got overhang tests here, and what overhang is when you haven't got any material underneath it, and there's different like tight angles and stuff to print. So by doing a overhang test, I can see here that my printer prints pretty well at 60 degrees overhang. It can do 70 degrees, but it gets a little bit messy. And then at 80 degrees, it's really like, it can do it, but the underneath isn't that great, and I kind of need to file it down. So because I've done this, I now can fine tune my print settings to not need or not require support until the angle gets steeper than like 70, 75 degrees. But if I'm printing something that needs to be pretty, I know it needs to be less than that, if that makes sense. There's also some hole tests on here. So you can see there's like a couple of circular holes. They've got some specific measurements on there of what those holes are. And the reason why that's good is when you print, the plastic comes out hot. But when it cools, it contracts. And every print is going to be different. Every plastic is going to be different. But by knowing how much it contracts, you then know how much you need to, allow for when you're making your design. So if you've got like, a nut for an M5 screw, which I use regularly in my prints, I know that I need to do that size. Instead of it being 5mm, to take, for that screw, for example, I need to make it 6 or 5.7mm to account for the shrinkage that the plastic has. And yeah, it's like test things like this is really good. Also, you've got bridging tests on there. So bridging is like going from one place to another one, and my printer bridges really well, which is good to know. I didn't know that before, but after this test, I do know. And there's like a few other little bits on there too, like there's pyramids, so if you can do points. My printer apparently isn't that good at points, but when I printed this I probably could tweak the settings to make it better, and that's what you do. You play with it, you see what works, you see what doesn't work, and then your life is pretty much a good one. But let's look at the virtual version of this. It's called the all-in-one 3D printer test, but let's see if we can find the chap who made it. So here it is in the slicer. As you can see, it's kind of a bit wonky, so we can fix that up right and quick. So that's it there. So it's a nice little one. But as you can see, it's got tons of different tests on there. Unfortunately for my printer, none of these actually came out, none of those little tiny bits there, so that's very good for me to know, because I know not to do like thin liney things now, so that's good. But these blocks came out here. I didn't get to do the full-on points of these pyramids, so again I now know not to try and do any very pointy things unless I change my settings down, do like a nice thin print layer, and also maybe like do a maybe I need to get a different extruder instead of using like a 0.4 nozzle. Maybe I need to get like a 0.2 if I've got anything with fine detail. So these things, yeah, these are very, very good tests to do. Print it, tweak it, print it again, tweak it again, see what happens, see what works, what doesn't, and keep going on from there. Let me actually go into here and do 3D printer test. Madja107. Thank you very much. It's very useful that you've created these. And look at that. This is another test, but it looked bigger than the micro one, and I wanted to print it out quite quickly, so that's why I went for that one. But yeah, look, it's very, very good, very handy. If you're not familiar, Thingiverse is like, I use this for so many resources. It's so handy. There's tons of stuff on there. And there also seems to be like a very nice community on there too. So if you did want to get involved, learn from other people, this is a fantastic place to be. I am really tempted to print this one out as well, actually, purely because it's got some like tubey holes on it. There's more hole tests here. And yeah, they've got more overhang tests, that kind of thing. I think it'd be very handy for me to do that. To be fair, it doesn't actually look that big. Doesn't look that big at all, so maybe I could do it and it would be fine. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that I've been looking at doing, and I'm very happy to say that my printer has performed quite well. So yeah, at the minute I'm very happy with how it's performed in doing these tests. It's been printing very successfully recently. At the start, I was having a few failures, and sometimes the printer wouldn't even successfully start the print, and I'd be a little bit confused about that. But now, pretty much everything I make goes straight to print, comes out looking really nice, and it just works, and it's nice that that just happens, you know. So yeah, all considering, very good. Again, this isn't a full review of the Creality CR20 Pro. This is purely having a tiny little look at how it performs in these printer tests, and it's also a recommendation for you guys to do these printer tests with your printers, because you get so much information, you learn so much about your printer when you're doing them. I can't rate them enough. And it's like, from doing tests like this, that really have enabled me to get this kind of consistency out of my prints. So yeah, all in all, very, very happy with it. Very excited. Now, what is coming up on this channel? I'm sure you're wondering, because you're like, oh, what's going on? Well, on Sunday, I've got my first Airsoft gameplay video coming live, and I'm very excited about that. It's going to be going live maybe around like 4 o'clock-ish, something like that. But very, very excited. I hope you like it. And if you do, you know, give me feedback, let me know what you like, what you dislike, and I can see what I can do going forward. But yeah, my very first Airsoft gameplay video, that's kind of that there. And I've got a few more bits as well. I'm going to be opening up a 3D print shop soon. I'll be on like eBay. I have a Facebook page, bits up, probably an Etsy as well, and it's all going to be focused around airsoft kind of parts. As you know, airsoft and 3D printing are two of my big interests, as well as, you know, video making, so it's all kind of coming together. But I'm going to be putting together like an airsoft shop, because I printed the other day. I say the other day, it was literally last night I printed this. So I recently got a new grenade, which is this thing, and I printed a holder for it. So there's you see the there's the, you know, the ring pull there, or the pin even. It's the pin. There's the pin. It clips in, and when you pull it out, it comes off the clip. The pin comes out, and then you can chuck it and do what you want. And then once you've used it, if you want, you can just chuck it back in the clip like that, and it holds it in place. Or if you kind of want to reset it too, it's probably not going to work now. Let me try and put the pin in. Yeah, you click the pin in, and then you click it back onto there, and then you're all good to go. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, boom. Every single time, it works every time. And what I'm actually printing at the minute is a kind of additional piece. Potentially, I may be able to print this out and attach it to the bottom bit here too. But that grenade uses something called primers, which are the little bit in like shotgun shells and like pistol like ammo, like 9mm ammo, that kind of thing. The primer that the hammer hits, which explodes and then lights the rest of the black powder in the actual cartridge itself. This thing fires those primers, and what I'm printing at the minute, as you saw there before, this will hold the primers all in place. And there's enough in here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, bugger. 1, 2, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 primers you'd be able to put in there, which for a game may be a tiny bit of overkill, but at the same time, it's nice to bang, and this will help you bang a lot. If it works, please work. It should be done in about 30 minutes, so at that point, I'll either be very happy or sad that I need to redesign it and print it. That happens a lot. But that is the world of a 3D printer's life. And yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found it interesting. I hope you're enjoying learning about 3D printing. And yeah, if you do 3D print, do some tests. You'll appreciate it in the long run, and it will help you do better prints. So until next time, stay fresh, keep printing, play safe, Look after yourselves. Hug your cats. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.